So yes, now get ready because we are ready to write our first Java program. So let's launch Eclipse from the desktop shortcut or your favorite Java development editor. And then choose a path for the workspace. I'll choose the default path. And sometimes you have to wait while Eclipse is being opened. Hello World will be our first program. Now, of course, it's the tradition in the programming world to create a small program which writes Hello World as the phrase to the console. So in order to create a Java project, please choose the File menu and New, and then choose Java Project, and then enter the project name. My first Java project. All right, so you can use the default location or select the other location. If you have multiple versions of Java runtime environment, you can always choose the JRE that your project is targeting. And by default, the newest JRE will be selected, so we choose the first option. There's no need to change any of the other options. And then click Next on the screen. And in fact, uncheck Create Module Info.java file. And then click the Finish button. And yeah, our new project was created in the Project Explorer view. So after that, from the source folder, SRC, on the Project Explorer pane on the left side of the Eclipse IDE, just right-click on it to show the contextual menu and choose the menu item New and Class. So now on this screen, enter Hello World as a package name. So package can be thought of as a folder, and the package name starts with the lowercase letters. So let's give Hello World as our name for the new class, and also check the box Public Static Void Main. And what that does is it lets Eclipse create a main method, and then we can click the Finish button. So now you see the Hello World class with package in the Project Explorer view. And also you'll see a comment line on the code area to do auto-generated method stub. Told you it was a language. So this is the Eclipse code template that is automatically created. Now, if we don't like this template, we can change the templates via the window, Preferences, Java, Code Style, and Code Templates. Select Code and Method Body, and then just press Edit to edit the template. And then remove the to-do comment. Then press Apply and Close, and let's see what we get. So let's change the code of the helloworld.java file to the following code. System.out.println. Inside double quotes, hello world. And what this method does is it prints the contents inside the double quotes into the console and inserts a new line after. Now, in Java, it is necessary to add a semicolon at the end of the statement. And yeah, that's all. To execute the Java Hello World program, right-click on your program file and choose Run As, Java Application. And if everything's correct, you're going to see Hello World in the console window just like that. Congratulations, we did our first Java program. Okay, so let's understand how our Java Hello World source file was compiled and then executed. First, we wrote the Java source code in the helloworld.java file using Eclipse IDE. Then the program has to be compiled into bytecode. The Java compiler compiles the source code and then generates the hello world.class file. And then this class file can be executed in any platform or operating system by Java Virtual Machine. I love it. So Java Virtual Machine translates bytecode into native machine code, which machines can then execute. Oh, also let me mention that library code is executed by the Java Virtual Machine. We have understood how to run a Java program. Why don't we take a closer look at the program that we've written? The Hello World application consists of two primary components. First, the Hello World class definition and the main method. Public class Hello World is the first line of our Java program. Every Java application must have at least one class definition that consists of the class keyword followed by the class name. And the code for each class appears between the opening and closing curly braces. Now, we will discuss the subject of classes in further detail in some of the upcoming lectures, but right now, it's just enough to know that every Java application begins with a class definition. Public static void main string args, or arguments. So this is our next line in the program. In the Java programming language, every application must contain a main method whose signature is, well, just like that. Also, we'll cover how to define a method in Java in the next upcoming lectures. And then finally, the line system.out.println hello world. So the print method prints the contents inside the double quotes into the console and inserts a new line after. So it uses the system class from the core library of Java. Now, don't worry if you don't get it at first. We're going to learn a whole lot more about classes and methods in the next lectures. Course outline. So why don't we have a closer look at the main Java subjects that we're going to learn in this particular course. First of all, of course, we will introduce the basics of Java syntax. So we're going to learn what are variables, data types, operators, and a few other subjects. Then we're going to cover control flow statements that include decision-making statements, looping statements, as well as branching statements. Then we're going to be using methods. So in that section, we will learn just how to declare and call methods. We'll also work on method return types and method overloading with lots of exercises. The next topic is the introduction part of object-oriented programming. It's a concept that includes class, object, access modifiers, naming conventions, constructors, packages, as well as a few other subjects. Then, we're going to cover the most important topic of Java, and that is object-oriented programming. So in that section, we will work on inheritance, abstract classes, interfaces, polymorphism, encapsulation, and other subjects with real-life examples. And then we will learn about strings, wrapper classes, autoboxing, and unboxing subjects in Java. In that section, we're going to work on what string is and also creating string objects. Also, we'll practice on useful methods of string class. Also, we will introduce the wrapper classes in Java. We're going to learn what a wrapper class is, as well as conversion of types. And I think you're going to really enjoy working on autoboxing as well as unboxing subjects with examples. Then we're going to learn about exception handling as a concept. So in that section, we will try to understand how to handle exceptions in Java. We'll also introduce types of exceptions and useful exception methods. And then we'll introduce the Java desktop application design, and that is called Java Swing. So in that section, we will learn basic Swing components by doing examples. And then finally, we'll introduce enum types in Java. So in that section, we will learn how to declare an enum type. We'll also work on key points of enum types, and we'll do some code exercises using enum types. Are you ready? Let's get started. Variables. Now we're starting main fundamentals of Java programming language. So one of them is variables. In this section, we'll first learn what a variable is. Then we'll learn how to declare and initialize variables. And then once we get that, we'll be learning different types of variables: instance variables, static variables, as well as local variables. Then we'll get used to working with Java keywords. So first, like I said, we're going to start with the question, what is a variable? So a variable, it can be thought of as a container or a box which holds value for you, right, during the life of a particular Java program. So it means that when you create a variable, you basically reserve some space in memory. Every variable is assigned a data type, and it holds quantity of value. So here we have two steps to use a variable in a program. They're called declaration and initialization. In order to declare a variable, you must specify the data type and give a unique name to the variable. So in our example, we declare the variable age with int data type. And of course, we're going to cover data types in the next slides, but just stay with me. So in order to initialize a variable, you must assign it a valid value according to its data type. So here we use the equation sign. It means that value in the right side will be saved into the variable on the left side. So in our example, we'll assign value 37 to a variable age. Now, in order to declare more than one variable, use a comma to separate identifiers. Java programming language has rules and conventions for naming variables. So while declaring variables, please note that Java is a case-sensitive programming language, which means that the upper or lower case of letters in your Java programs matter. So the variable age that consists of all lowercase is different from the variable age that consists of first capital letter and the rest lowercase. So a variable name can begin with a letter, a $sign, or underline mark. Now, if you declare a one-word variable name, go ahead and use all lowercase letters. It's not mandatory, but it helps keep things organized. And if you declare a variable name having more than one word, use all lowercase letters for the first word and then capitalize the first letter of another word. Now let's look at different types of variables. We have three types of variables in Java. First one is instance variables. So instance variables are defined in a class, but outside of a method declaration. They're also defined without the static keyword. So then guess what the second one is? It's static variables. Static variables are initialized only once at the start of the program execution. These variables should be initialized first, before the initialization of any instance variables. Also, they're defined in a class, but outside a method declaration. We'll cover some static keywords in detail in the next coming slides. And then the last one is local variables. Local variables are declared inside the body of a method. So that's just an introduction. Don't worry, we're going to cover methods as its own subject in greater detail in some of the upcoming slides. Java keywords. Now, as in every other programming language, Java has some reserved words, and these are called keywords. We cannot use them as names for variables, methods, classes, or as any other identifier. Now, you can see Java keywords on the table here. Each keyword has a specific meaning in the language. So we're going to practice with these keywords in the next exercises. So you ready? Let's start coding. So why don't we start with variable examples? So first, let's create a new Java project. And specify the project name as exercise. And let's not change any of the other options and just click on the next button. So in this section, uncheck Create Module Info.java file option, and then press the Finish button. Okay, so in this project, right-click on the source folder and then select New Class. Okay, so specify the package name as variable and the class name as variable. And then select the checkbox to add a main method. Then just click on the Finish button, and then Eclipse will generate a Java class. Okay, so now we're getting somewhere. Now we can start coding. So let's declare 3 variables with the int type. First up, A, and assign 10. Second, B, and assign 20. And last, C, and assign A plus B. So now let's print variable C on the screen by using the print method. Eclipse actually has a quick shortcut for you to write this method. So type sysso, then hit Control space in combination from the keyboard. So this is named as code completion. All right, so it allows us to quickly complete statements in our code. We can use this key combination in all the other parts of the program, such as variables and methods and classes and wherever you are. Okay, so let's run the code now. So right-click on variable.java and select from the contextual menu Run as Java Application. And then the result will print result equals 30 in the console. So also we can define variables that are separated by commas. So let's run the code again using a shortcut. And the result is the same. Also, we can directly write A plus B to the output. But herein lies a problem. Compiler considers a statement as a string and concatenates them. So in order to solve this problem, we must use A plus B between parentheses. All right? So let's run it again. Now the result is correct. See that? So let's have a look at some naming rules for variables. We will study the variable age. Int age is valid. Int underscore age is valid. Int $mark age is valid. Int age 3 is valid. But int a space GE is invalid. And 3age is invalid because variable names cannot use spaces, and a variable name cannot begin with a digit. Also, we cannot use Java keywords as a variable name, so int break is invalid because break is a keyword. Int do is also invalid because do is a keyword, and int public is invalid because public is a keyword. Don't worry, you'll get to know your keywords.